by the modial interaction of magneto-reluctance and capacitive directives. The original machine had a base plate of prefamulated amulite surmounted by a malleable logarithmic casing in such a way that the two spurting bearings were in a direct line with a panametric fan. The latter consisted simply of 6 hydrocoptic Marsal vanes, so fitted to the ambivation lunar wane shaft.
There's nothing to debunk. It debunks itself. When they can't offer you practicality and a definition of what it is they're actually claiming. It's a science of sophism. It's a science of cartoons. It's a science of how to animate things using crayons and wee drawings, but what they're claiming is no science, because they can't show it practically. It's no science, it's a science of deception. 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 Is it fucking that? No. It's a science of deception. It's a science of deception. Right? It's a science of deception. It's a science of deception. Is it fucking that? No. It's a science of deception. 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 Is it fucking that?
It was of this normal lotus or delta type placed in panendermic semi-boloid slots with the stator, every 7th conductor being connected by a non-reversible.
It's a science of sophism. It's a science of cartoons. Right? It's a science of how to animate things using crayons and wee drawings, but what they're claiming is no science, because they can't show it practically. It's no science, it's a science of deception. 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 Is it fucking that? No. It's a science of deception. It's a science of deception. Right? It's a science of deception. It's a science of deception. Is it fucking that? No.
It may also be employed in conjunction with a drawn reciprocation dingle arm to reduce sinusoidal repleneration.
It's a science of deception. Gravitoids. 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 It's a science of deception. People. So, just as the intro music said, that's exactly what this globe is. It is purely a science of deception. It's sophistry. It's bullshit. It is people backing it with words and images. So what I'm going to start doing, along with other things, is I'm going to go through these people and I'm going to analyse what they actually offer and highlight why they have no practical science to support the assertions that we live on the exterior of a globular Earth. I'm going to show you clearly that they don't have anything. We'll go through every single one of them. I'm going to start with this chap called Craig, known as Fight the Flat Earth. Now, when I go through these people, I am not going to get myself involved in attacking them on any personal level. I don't wish these people any harm. They are obviously delusional, confused, or they are barefaced liars. That's their choice. The fact of the matter is that none of their behaviour is going to change anything in regards to what our objective reality is. But they are putting up a front, they are trying to confuse people, sow doubt in people's minds, and they are offering nothing. They are disciples of religion, and they are trying to assert and push their religion with some sort of authority, right? While at the same time as we're about to watch from characters like Mr. Craig, they will try and pass off people like myself as being some sort of involved in some sort of cult. Now, that's just not the case, and we'll get to what the actual cult is, and I'll highlight what the real cult is. Now, before we even start, everybody was born into a cult. You were born into a culture, okay, that told you and dictated to you the ways of life, what it means to be a human being, the practices that go on in your local society. Okay, everybody was born into a cult. The reason I'm calling it a cult and that you were born into a cult is because they are concepts and ideas from who you are, where you came from, why you're here, and what's expected of you as a human being, what it means to be a human being. All these things, all these aspects are part of the cult that you were born into. They are ideas, they are concepts. They are not grounded in objective truth. Nobody knows the objective truth of why we are here, where we are, what the purpose of this thing that we call life is. So 99.9% of the people are living in delusional fairyland, following cults. Okay, so as I say, I've got nothing against any of these people on a personal level. I have been asking for 4 years now for these people to stop with the pantomime, to stop perpetuating a false dichotomy of us against them, to come to the table and discuss the objective science, the natural sciences, physics, chemistry, biology. These are the things that we use in our everyday life. The formal sciences and the social sciences are more subjective. The formal sciences like mathematics are just that, a formal science. It's a language, linguistics, not rooted in objective reality. There may be aspects of mathematics that describe tangible objective reality, but mathematics can also wander off into nonsense land. And I'll highlight some of these in regards to the luminaries and whatever else. So again, you know, as I get through, I'm going to start with Craig, I'm going to get through Simon Dan, Conspiracy Cats, Cool Hard Logic, any of these people, and we're going to have a look to see through their content what they actually offer to support the claim that we live on a globe. I know that they have nothing because I was part of that globe cult. I was intellectually honest enough to ask myself the questions, can I justify maintaining the belief? I had no reason to reject the globe. Other than intellectual honesty and the pursuit of knowing and understanding my reality and what I'm actually part of here. Okay, so, right from the off, these people will try and twist it and leave out these aspects. I'm not a contrarian. I'm not here just for the sake of being here to troll and wind people up. I'm somebody who's passionate and has always asked questions about what it means to be a human being and what this is, life. Okay? Now, these questions have led me to this point. I'm now what I would consider a direct realist. If somebody is making a claim to me about my objective reality, they must quantify it. It must be shown to me in a practical fashion. And I don't mean people showing me images and photographs and making assertions and assumptions. if we're talking about the visible world, there is many aspects to be taken into consideration that these people just do not want to. They are cherry picking to give themselves bias confirmation and to try and pass over that bias confirmation to gullible onlookers who may be swayed. So what we'll see here is the tactics that are used, some of the NLP, just downright delusions, and I will leave it up to you to make that decision. Are these people delusional? Or are they complicit and know exactly what they're doing? Are they just in it to make money? They don't really believe the nonsense that is the heliocentric globe model, but they see a growing trend of people here. And, you know, pantomimes sell. Dichotomies sell. One against the other, that sells. People like a bit of that. But when we're in the pursuit of objective understanding, we should not be bringing pantomimes into it. So again, I premise this before I start. I encourage these people to quit with the pantomime nonsense right now. They have the opportunity now to step up to the mark and to have that discussion and lay everything out on the table. I will remind every single one of these people I am open to meeting these people in person. We can have a filmed discussion. They can bring whoever they like. They can bring their own cameras and I will do the same. So this is going to be a series starting with Craig Fight the Flat Earth, and I will work my way through the rest of them and we'll have a look through their content and see what they actually have to offer. Now remember, when we're talking about the objective world, things have to be quantified and things have to be practically demonstrated. Representing the claim and using the actual elements that you're professing to know about. If you cannot fulfill that, you're talking pseudoscience, you're talking conjecture. Okay? Like, the patterns in the sky were already here before humans decided to attach a language to it. So these people now think that they can take that objective reality, add their spin, their language on, which is nonsensical, unattainable physics. The problem with the globe is that we have a physics understanding here in the real world, but out with our world, they want to invoke some metaphysical type physics that is not demonstrable. That is the definition of pseudoscience. Any other avenue you go into, you understand that. You understand that there's people that make all sorts of outlandish claims in this world. The majority will be categorised as pseudoscience because it cannot be quantified. It cannot be practically demonstrated. That's what we look for. That's how we have progress. Now I see things like, you know, globe proponents invoking laptops or technology that we have. Again, they fail to understand that these things are based in the objective world. These things are tangible. These things are substance-based, practical. So they don't get to hijack real physics and then try and attach their metaphysical, mathematical concept that is the heliocentric globe model onto real natural science. That's just not going to be acceptable. People like me can see that and we can discern the difference, and these people have a real issue with that. Now, you've seen continued attacks on my person, my character. Again, this is just another symptom of a cult religion trying to defend itself. And the tools it uses tell you a lot about what it actually is. If it was an objective truth, these people would never have to perpetuate this pantomime that they are involved in. The footage I'm going to be using here from Craig, I'm not going to be looking through Craig's content for any globe proofs because there's none there. Craig's quite new on the scene, but Mr. Cheswick made a video and, you know, it highlighted some very, you know, interesting points through his video. So I'm going to be using Mr. Cheswick's and I'm going to be highlighting exactly what this Craig fella is up to. And again, we can look at it and see, is he just delusional? Is he a lost soul? Does he require some support? Because right now I see people like that involved in echo chambers, where they have degenerates, people who are of the same affliction as they are, and they support each other in their nonsense. People like Craig need to realise that these people that he thinks are friends, they're not. They're turning you into a laughingstock, Craig. This is not going to go away. You've shown your face. You've put yourself up there, and you're defending religious hogwash, son. I'm a man of compassion and empathy. I'm sticking my hand out to you. I'm giving you the opportunity to show us that you're not just a delusional fucktard. It's going to be up to you, mate. Now, we'll see in this. I'm going to answer them right now. What would it take? No, in fact, I'm going to leave it. I'll leave it for the analysing of Craig. Okay? Again, I'm not analysing here on a personal level. I'm not interested in people, the subjective aspects, judging people at personal levels. I don't care. I'm going to analyse their walk attached to this question of our objective reality that we share. Okay? His persona, his antics mean nothing to me. But he's using them. He's using them to dissuade and to sway people to conform to an illogical, irrational, pseudo-scientific way of thinking. And I don't think that's acceptable. I'm defending objective questioning. I have the right to defend objective questioning. I have pursued this question with integrity and intellectual honesty. I don't have a preference. I'm not coming from a bias. And that's another problem with these people. They know I don't adopt belief in straw mans. I question the claim that was put to me. I falsify those claims, which leaves me in a real scientific position of exploration. Anybody that's professing to be involved with real science doesn't make silly assertions and pursue beliefs. They must have the ability to falsify things that are being put to them, to then stand in a position of clarity with braveness to be able to say, I do not know. And from that point of view, you can then move forward to pursue an understanding and actually know. That's what it's supposed to be about. That's what's brought supposed progress to your lives. Although we'll get to that as well, and what we class as actual progress. But if you're talking about technological advancement never came about by pseudoscience or unattainable physics. Technological advancement comes about by tangible, real-world physics, substance. We should never be making up existential narratives and stories to suit agendas. We can continue as a species to admit we do not know what we're involved in here and never allow any institution that professes to know to seep into the public domain to have a say. If people need comfort blankets and security, that's for your own privacy, to subdue your own insecurities, not to be professed and projected to the whole that they must conform to your security blanket. That's absurd. That brings about contempt, that brings about war. I'm not in this to project my subjective interpretations and wishes and desires. They're for private. As a species, we should be sharing what is objectively true, what benefits the whole, and freely sharing that. And as soon as we see any faction starting to be defensive, starting to try and ridicule open question, we should be really concerned about that. And anybody that wants to follow my particular journey, you will see that I have been met by nothing but that resistance, ridicule, criminality, threats, all sorts of, you know, desperate intimidation tactics, because a human being is asking questions about their objective world. Right off the bat, you should be deeply concerned about what is actually going on and why that's being opposed by supposed objective science. Well, it should be very clear to you that anybody that pushes that type of behaviour, they don't support objectivity. They don't support openness. They're defending a belief. Institutions that have investments, attachments to other avenues where people make money. People have stature, people have control, dominance over others. And that's what this whole globe thing's about. And these people are trying to maintain that. Understandable. I understand it. I don't agree with it. And I will stand up against it every opportunity I get. But again, I'm not here to judge them. And I defend these people to be delusional if they want. If they want to try and spread their delusions, that's up to them. Again, it comes back to the individual's discernment. I can't control the world and people. But people require the skills in order to decipher what's being offered to them. That's been removed. Those tools are no longer readily available to the majority of the populace. So they are swayed at an emotional level. And that's exactly what the globe continues to demonstrate. Psychological and emotional swaying. You see it in their language, in their antics, in their walk. Okay? I'm not interested in manipulating anybody to have beliefs. Remove belief. It's not necessary. You do not require a belief to know that a ton of metal will fucking crush you. You're part of an objective reality here that has physical laws. No belief required. A newborn mind that has no concept or understanding of beliefs will be subject to the objective rules and laws of this reality. There is no debate. This is not about an idea, a concept. I'm not here defending concepts and ideas. These people continually advertise this as a debate. There is debate when there is uncertainty, which means it's not an exacting science. But then you have to ask the question, why would people make assertions and defend assertions, and other people oppose that assertion and defend their assertion, and then do battle? That is the antics of lunacy, irrationality, illogic. When we're dealing with things that are in our objective reality, we don't need any of that. You see debate coming in regards to how it all got here. People speculate. People follow narratives. They debate each other. They are insecure. They require certainty and they want to defend their perceived certainty. But the contents of it, not how it got here, the contents of it are not up for debate. They are what they are, regardless of anybody's bias or insecurities. Okay? So, hello people, who are we? I will come to the chat box once I get through some of this, okay? So, as I say, when I watched this, you know, I had a few concerns because they're getting more deceitful, more deliberate in how they're trying to portray things. Lots of generalising, and I'm going to continually be vocal because they're no generalising and pigeonholing me into some crap. So I'm going to play this and we'll go through it, okay?
Hello, flatties and globe defenders. It's Critical Thing from Down Under.
So straight away, this guy, I'll probably get to him as well. He's getting off on the false dichotomy. He likes to continue to label and reassert and remind people that it is a dichotomy. Although in reality there is no dichotomy, there only is one reality. But he's getting off on it. This is probably another guy who has a view to try and make some money off of gullibles. Today, real science, a disservice, to benefit his own selfish needs. This man has no integrity.
And today we have a relative newcomer to the flat earth debunking, but now
The flat earth debunking. So let's have a look at that and let's have a look at Craig's channel, Fight the Flat Earth. Flat earth debunking. Which flat earth are you debunking? Again, they will never define. They will always, assume the position that flat earthers represent some cartoon straw man. What is it they're actually fighting against? Can any of them actually define it? Are they fighting against pseudoscience? They never define these things because they know once they actually start agreeing to the definitions and the first principles, they are then subject to those as well, which would highlight them straight away because we know the globe is pseudoscience.
due to health issues, he's housebound, but that gives him plenty of time to serve up some trouble for the flat earthers. Won't you please welcome Fight the Flat Earth?
Hey, thanks for having me.
I like to really big each other up. It's becoming to these people because, again, through the globe cult, we have this other aspect, the cult of personality and celebrity. More insane nonsense that human beings perpetuate and contribute to. So again, these two are no any different.
What do you actually do now?
Yeah, so would you like to tell us a little bit about how you got to the situation of not being able to work anymore?
Well, I was in the Royal Navy, and I was trying to fix something that was supposed to be locked out in the bridge, so that the mechanics of it wouldn't operate. The machinery would.
So this aspect here is Craig. This is part of the NLP. They like to lay out sob stories to try and get people to relate to them, so that people then form a trust, some sort of bond. Then they can be blinded. This is part of the showman. This is part of the magician's trick. To get you on side, to get you looking at them through filters, so that you're then blinded to the sleight of hand. Craig's no different. And again, Craig's now professing that he was part of the military. Now we'll hear him talking about cults. And as I've just shown and stated a while ago there, we were all born into cults. The military represents one of the most insane, ridiculous cults that you could ever witness. Me in my youth, stupidly, through ego, joined military, realised very quickly that I'd made an absolute silly mistake and left. But you will people who will say it with pride. Now, I'm not trying to take anybody's experience away. People may have different reasons for why they went there. But what it represents is hierarchy, stature, need-to-know basis. Quite like the structure of any other cult, where you do not know what that full organisation is really about, who's really making the orders, and you then follow those orders like an ant. a blind cult disciple. So Craig has shown already that he's got the propensity to fall under cults. Maybe he lacks self-belief, self-esteem, and feels that he has to join groups to feel certainty and that he's part of something with certainty. No understanding that there is no certainty. The culture and the military is just an idea, clutching at straws, poking its nose into people's business, carrying out the agenda of politicians and greedy fuckers. Just a tool to be used by manipulative dipshits.
Couldn't move, but it wasn't locked out properly, so a hydraulic piston engaged when it shouldn't have and pinned me against the bulkhead, crushed my shoulder and my chest, snapped my collarbone, pinned me and pushed me against it in an awkward position, twisted my knee, and basically that was the end of my military career. They're talking about taking my leg off in the next year or so, because the damage can't be repaired, and I'd rather have a prosthetic and learn to deal with that than have to go through knee surgery every few years or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's a shame, son. I wish no harm to anybody, but you should have thought about that before you got yourself involved in something that you don't even understand.
I can't work anymore. I tried as much as I could. I didn't ever want to be in a situation where I was relying on state handouts and stuff, but that's where I am now.
Hey, I'm Craig from Esports Scotland.
And I'm Emma. Welcome to our first episode of Esports Scotland TV.
Grab yourself some cool merch at my store with the link in the description.
So here again, he's jumping on it, capitalising on an objective question, trying to milk it. This guy's a charlatan. The objective world, objective facts and truths don't belong to any human being. And I've got a real issue with people trying to make money off that, especially when they misrepresent the objective facts, perpetuating delusions in people's minds while at the same time selling them a product. I consider these types of acts criminal.
And for the first month of 2019, I'm going to offer 20% off if you use the code FTFE20 at the checkout.
So is these some of your...
Very fair. It's very fair. Playing on people's heartstrings, NLPing people, getting them on side. Good. I'll make more money out of them.
hobbies include?
We'll get to the aspects. We'll just listen to this drivel. The subjective aspects before we get to, what he's really about.
Video games.
Yeah.
Bit of a gamer. Tell us about some of your games.
My wife and I...
Another common thread here. A lot of these people seem to be gamers. They obsess over games to the point where they lose touch with reality and they start looking at cartoon characters, female cartoon characters, and grading them on the shape of their ass. That's somebody who I would consider to be really mentally ill, who has lost touch with reality, who probably doesn't even know how to change a plug, doesn't understand the practical real world of construction and navigation, doesn't care about the substances in his objective reality. The only thing he cares about is confirming to himself his bias, and he gets that through a screen with cartoons and celebrities and rhetoric.
To be honest, games is one of the reasons why we got married. Our love of video games that we both had cemented the fact that we could spend time together and be happy together. And I've been married
Each to their own, son.
to her for 12 years, and for nearly every evening of those 12 years, we'll sit down together and we'll play some video games together.
I think you're lucky to have somebody that would support you like that you've got something in common with. Good on you.
gaming is a lot of fun, and I'm in pain a lot of the time, and for me, it's helped take my
And
mind.
again, you have to know they're doing this. This is like, I think this Australian guy's trying to be the Pat Steer of the Globers. You know, interviewing people like they're fucking celebrities. Now, what the fuck does that matter? What are you really up to? Trying to make yourself relevant and seem important? Why? Wind your neck in. This nonsense of stature over others shows me that you're delusional, egotistical, fake. And a huge part of the problems that we deal with in everyday life.
Mind off a lot of things.
Well, yes, I'd say I'm a bit of a gamer myself, but obviously I don't get much time to play games these days.
You're playing games right now, son. You're playing a game right now. You're that stupid that you don't realise it? You're that delusional? I highly doubt it. I think you know exactly what you're up to.
I just keep an eye on the chat here. Where's Wally says, oh, Flat Earth is a big game, really, so he thinks you're playing a big game here.
You can equate that to gaming, I guess.
I don't know. I don't think gaming is that idiotic. I don't know.
Well, it's idiotic when you don't have the ability to discern the lines between fantasy and reality. That's when it starts to become a real issue, as far as I can see, and I see it quite a lot with people. The lines between fantasy and reality are blurred. Maybe that's your problem.
Well, yeah, you probably have to be more intelligent to play video games than be a flat earther.
So, you know, underhanded slaps. Again, without defining what he means by flat earther. Because that's just a word. It's just a label that people like him don't define and throw about. Because they know that the propaganda has been done on people. So he just needs to throw out the word. And there's so much propaganda in regards to that phrase that people will just make up their own nonsense.
What have you got planned in the next coming? I notice you've actually got organised and got yourself a whole timetable coming up.
Yeah, I'm enjoying doing it. If there's ever a point where I stop enjoying doing this, then I won't do it anymore. But as I'm enjoying it so much, I just want to keep doing it.
You're enjoying it, son, because you've got a wee clique of other disciples, illogical, irrational, unstable disciples that you can relate to, that make you feel secure in your own delusional, derpy world. Right? Because you don't have the strength, you don't have a spine to stand up as an individual. Clear your thoughts to see where you're being influenced by others. But yet you'll brand labels about and generalise and throw people like me into your generalisations. Because you're weak. And you're threatened by people like me. So you seek refuge and safety in your numbers. That's not going to prove anything objective either, son. You need to start having a word with yourself.
That's exactly right. I do have a little bit of fun making my videos too, but I'm more motivated by what I see as something that needs to be fixed on the internet, as they say, you know?
Alright, so something that needs to be fixed on the internet. So here we're seeing the narcissism, the manipulative aspects of these people. Well, they think they are some sort of authority over others. They really think in their delusions of grandeur that they are above everybody else who does not conform to their way of thinking, and they're going to fix them. What kind of fucking moron would say something like that? Exactly, Mr. Cheswick.
Most certainly. I mean, that's the reason why I started it, is because this person thought that it was okay to kind of shout at my child, but then looking into it all, there's so much more behind it than just people thinking the earth is flat. I equate it to being like a cult, because to believe that the earth is flat, you literally have to warp your way of thinking.
So again, a cult. What is a cult? Do I look like a cult? Am I an organisation? Am I taking memberships? Am I taking funds off of people? Am I selling them products? Am I congregating at my place of worship? No, bloody well ain't. Let me just go back to see what I missed there.
Thought that it was okay to kind of shout at my child, but then looking into it all, there's so much more behind it than just people thinking the earth is flat. I equate it to being like a cult, because to believe that the earth is flat, you literally have to warp your way of thinking.
To believe the earth is flat, you have to warp your way of thinking. It's the total opposite, but this is now their tactic, where they like to assert these things and say it as if it holds any merit. It's the total opposite. You have to warp your perception and your way of thinking to adopt a belief that is totally absurd and contrary to your experience of everyday reality. There is no discernible curvature anywhere. We all know that liquids do not support shear stress. A liquid cannot support itself. You cannot bend bodies of liquid, make it hold the bend on the surface. You cannot make a body of liquid conform to the exterior of any shape and object. Liquids will take the shape of the container. The surface is always an equal horizontal plane, unless, of course, there is motion upon the surface like waves, wind, boats. We use Euclidean plane principles in every aspect of our reality. These are fundamental facts that you take for granted every single day, son. You have to warp your perception. The reason you do so is because of what you see coming through your TV screen, where new metaphysical physics has to be invoked, unattainable, non-demonstrable nonsense. Gas pressures being maintained in mediums like a vacuum without any containment. These things are contrary and totally absurd to our experience and applications in everyday life. So it's no me who is warping anything. I would have to contort my mind. I would have to be intellectually dishonest to continually believe that I live on the exterior of a globular earth. Again, these are facts, demonstrable facts, Craig. You only have interpretations of unattainable things like the luminaries that the globe proponents will continually jump to. Pseudoscience. We've been continually pointing out, what about the science, the physics of our actual reality? No, the physics on your bits of paper, your fantasy physics. So, don't be telling any more porky pies, son. You better start demonstrating some intellectual honesty. It's the globe that requires you to remove your common sense experience of reality, to place it in the hands of priests, more cult behaviour. It's hardly a cult when you're trying to empower people, encourage people to be their own scientist, to discern for themselves. But the globe requires you to have faith, belief in an authority, a hierarchy, where priests and positions will tell you what your reality is, where the priests are supposedly going to vantage points that you and I have never witnessed. And again, if you'd any ounce of sincerity and honesty in you, you would see that their claim is blatantly absurd. It's impossible for us to be existing in a medium that is a vacuum, Craig, son. I'll point you again to physics. I'll point you again to practical, demonstrable reality. You don't even need to leave the home. Go and have a look at your refrigerator. Look at your heating system. Look at any pressurised containment you have in your home. Understand why you must have a separation. The reason you must have separations is because high pressure will always fill the void of a lower pressure environment. These are simple things that have been understood for a long, long time and have been applied in the work, which tells you that that's a fact. But again, no. At some level that we can never get to, it all changes into some metaphysical new physics that the priesthood understands. And how they support it and back it up is by ink and rhetoric. More signs of a religious institution, a cult.
And then once you believe the earth is flat, you will then believe all the other conspiracy theories because it...
Again, making silly assertions. For one, I do not believe the earth is anything. I know the earth is demonstrably a level plane. Can you define the other conspiracies that you say people like myself automatically jump to believe? I don't have beliefsies. Who are you talking about? Certainly ain't talking about me, son.
It changes the way that you look at things, and then you start ignoring outside influences. It's saying that science is fake, saying that math is fake, and
what science? Again, you're just generalising, making sweeping statements. Globe science is pseudoscience. It's not demonstrable. It makes assertions based on visible phenomena. That's not scientific. That's religious.
it can ruin people's lives.
Whose life are you talking about? Huh? This cult that we were born into has ruined many people's lives. An unimaginable amount of people's lives. Because it has robbed them of their foundation. It has spewed a religious crap narrative of meaningless chance happenings, that's what these people are. Breeding nihilism. Breeding ignorance, apathy. So that those in the know have the upper hand, who then control and dominate over society, dominate and control military. Take liberties on innocent men, women and children and animals, sticking their neb in. Are you that blind?
When you look at things like Scientology, there's so many parallels in the...
Aye. When you look at things like Scientology and religious cults, there's so many parallels to other people's experiences that I have seen with myself in regards to this globe cult. And when I wanted to ask the questions and started to refuse it, I have been bombarded by desperation, ridicule, threats, all sorts of nonsense, just because I wanted to remove myself from the cult teachings. And you're one of these people. You've got a page called Fight the Flat Earth because you're upset that people are questioning your cult belief and that they're leaving your cult. And you feel the need to put up a front, to shame them, ridicule them, bring them back into line so that you can feel secure under your idiotic cult beliefs. You're talking about yourself here, Craig, but you're trying to project that to people like myself, unwarranted, unfounded. I don't take too kindly to that type of behaviour, son. You're a liar. Dishonest little man.
In the way that the mindset that there is. So I think it's more than just
The mindset, direct realism, a defence of the objective science.
laughing at the idiots being stupid. There is a dangerous cult there.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on
What's
that.
the danger? A danger to whom? And what exactly, Craig? Are you telling us that it's a danger to your cult? Because people are leaving it. People are starting to ask the questions on the validity of this cult and its teachings. Is that the danger you mean? Eh? I don't see people like me invading countries, blowing women and men and children up over greed. I see people like me minding my own fucking business, asking questions, getting out into the real world, seeing what it's really about. How's that a danger to anybody? Huh? Is it a danger to institutions? Corrupt institutions, Craig? Could you clarify these points? Are you capable? Would you like to have the discussion, son? Are you going to run away? Are you going to continue the pantomime? Put up the front? I'm not playing front, son.
That one.
I don't do the things that I'm doing to try and change their mind. It's more that if people watch me and see how stupid the whole thing is and how stupid the people that subscribe to it are and how much ridicule you're going to be subject
If you're
to.
highlighting nonsense and idiotic claims that people make, that's fine. But you want to turn that on yourself and your own cult, son. Stop generalising, because it's not just on people like myself and other people who remove the fluff, who don't represent strawman beliefs and cartoons and outlandish claims. And you think that these people you're referring to, you're actually helping them by your antics. Huh? Invoking violence against them with your opening statement. Dangling them off the edge of a building. Teasing them and then dropping them anyway. You're a fucking psychopath, son. Should we be concerned about the people surrounding you? Should they be warned? Huh?
If you even think that this is reality, then maybe it's going to make you think twice.
Why do you think Globe's reality, other than what you see on your TV screen? Because that's all I've seen from the Globe over 4 years of questioning it. Rhetorical crap. Religious incantations and mantras and buzzwords. And 2,000 years ago, like any other religion. I have not seen one quantifiable fact, demonstration or anything to support any of the Globe claims. None. Zilch.
So, there is a lot more to it than me just shouting at idiots. I want to try and, science is going to help our society grow and advance, and these people are trying to take us backwards.
Science is going to help our society advance and grow. Has anybody had a look? What's he talking about? Yeah. Science has been used to subdue people. Science has been hijacked. We've got fucking starving people out in the fucking streets, under the guise of limitation, of finite existence. I'm not seeing advancement. I'm seeing the breeding of fucking stupidity and ignorance. People don't get the real skills that they require to flourish in this world. They've been removed. A bastardised system has taken over, where people willfully hand their children over to the state to be brainwashed on utter crap, not to be nurtured, to be confused and bamboozled and left with the other predatory children around them. unguided, unchecked, that creates all sorts of spirals of emotional and psychological dysfunction. You call this advanced, Craig? You think this is advanced because you can sit in the home that a tradesman built for you, understanding plumbing level? That real science gave you the computer games for you to sit and fantasise about cartoon women? To assert your nonsense over the internet? You think this is advanced, son? Your kids should be fucking ashamed of you, mate. Just because you're fucking lazy and weak. You think that's alright, because you're okay. Fuck everybody else that's coming. You're a moron, son. Grade A moron.
Words.
Look, this science, try to take us into the dark ages. This is the fucking dark ages, you reprobate. People don't even understand their own fucking mind. People are being rewarded on regurgitation. Rewarded for falling into line. And chastised for daring to stand up and ask questions. People think a successful life's gathering material possessions, having stature over each other. That is the fucking dark ages, sonny boy.
Going through the comments of those videos, a lot of them are from flat earthers that are saying you are a sellout, you're you're lost to us, you're scum. And that kind of angriness about losing one of their cult members is exactly reminds me.
Hang on a wee second, I need to deal with this. Just bear with me, people. I need to deal with this here. Right, so, Craig being a sellout and all that stuff, if people are making these judgments on him, whatever, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I'm only interested in getting to the root of what's actually real and what's not real, Craig. So whether you're a sellout or just a delusional, willfully ignorant moron, I mean, that's by the by. Time will tell, Craig. We'll see if you continually put up this front. You have been shown, again, even here in this video, and stated about your objective world, that if you weren't lazy, you would actually go and investigate for yourself. But you're not interested. As far as I can see so far, you don't care about what's objectively true. You only care about maintaining your religious bias.
When I watched the documentary about Scientology and the way that they were with people that were trying to leave the Church of Scientology. And that was one of the first parallels that I thought, yeah, it definitely looks like a cult. And then when
Again, Craig, 4 years I've had to put up with this shit because I don't want to be part of the cult. So don't try and steal that narrative, son. You don't have a leg to stand on. It's documented extensively on what I've had to put up with from this globe cult. Would you like to lay it all out on the table and we'll have a look at where the cult behaviour is actually coming from, Craig?
you think about the way that it has to warp people's minds, and then the only information they take is from within the flat earth community. They'll ignore outside influences. And
Outside influences? What do you mean, your sophistry? I'm not interested in sophistry, Craig. It's been told to you and the rest of your globe cult trolls. We don't buy sophistry anymore, pseudoscience. We understand what's going on. We see through it. That's just not going to work anymore. So you can continually dig your feet in and take a tantrum like a stubborn little child. It's not going to change me.
outside knowledge, and it becomes very culty in the way that the communities are tight knit. And
what do you mean, like the tight knit and culty, like how it's absolutely saturated our cultures and society, our education system, where innocent children are being subjected to this crap every single day, out with the reach of their parents? Where strangers who have no emotional attachment or care for their actual well-being and their nurture, who are just regurgitating and repeating what came down the ladder of the hierarchy, that they know they must fulfil or lose their position. That's not very nice, Craig, is it? I really am beginning to think you really are saturated in delusion. You have put yourself into a delusional bubble that is so thick, you're beyond penetrating it. You should have a listen to yourself, son.
when that kind of community with the vulnerable people are just reinforcing their own ideas, then it just gets stronger and it can spread to more vulnerable people. And that to me is exactly what a cult is.
What I've just said about the vulnerable children, they get taught all sorts of crap and irrelevant nonsense that does nothing for them. From trying to tie them to some existence story, tie them to history that has got nothing to do with their experience, that is of no relevance to them whatsoever. Is that what you mean, Craig? Because that's what's happening. Are you scared to admit that's what's actually happening? Is that what your problem is? So you're suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. You would rather defend the oppressor, the opposer, the subduer. Huh? Because you're terrified of what would happen. Eh?
Yes, exactly. There's the whole brainwashing aspect. I'm trying to work out exactly how it works, but if you watch
I'm
enough...
trying to work out how it works, son. You know how it works. See, here's another devious little shit stain. You know fine well how it works. The brainwashing is being done every single day through the TV, all aspects of media, the education system, the political system. Are you daft? I don't see flat earthers at the helm of any of these aspects of the society we have. Do you? So don't sit there, you silly old man, trying to act daft. Oh, I do know how it works. There is no brainwashing. I refuse the cult nonsense off my own back, through my own discernment. I am not affiliated with any religious, political movement or any movement whatsoever. I'm just a man asking questions about my existence. You know how the brainwashing works. You see it every single day. And that's not coming from flat earthers. Okay?
YouTube videos, there's some kind of brainwashing thing that happens if you're not.
Look, just making statements, emptiness. I don't know how it happens. There's just some kind of brainwashing thing going on in YouTube. I don't know. I never thought it could just be because there's merit to asking the questions. because the globe has nothing. So people are justified in asking their questions. Again, he thinks he's superior, that anybody who questions his cult, there must be something wrong with them, I need to save them. More narcissistic tendencies on display here.
You know, a little bit more clued up. So I'm going to look, you've managed to rack up quite a few subs here very quickly. What do you think is due to that kind of success? I mean, some of us have been struggling for quite a while, so what do you think contributed to your success in that?
I honestly don't know.
He does know it's because he's part of a wee echo chamber and YouTube is supporting them. They're being pushed into people's recommendeds. Again, this nonsense that we're a minority of crackpots, but all of a sudden there's this mass front with loads and loads and loads of subscribers coming from absolutely nowhere. All of a sudden, to stand up against what exactly? Would that not tell you, Craig, if these subscribers are genuine, that this question is spreading? Are you really that delusional? You can't understand what's actually happening here. Huh? But you don't care because you think you're just going to get a slice of some pie and fuck everybody else. That's not how this is going to unravel, mate. You better snap out of it and realise what's actually going on and how you and your wee cronies are just pawns. Right? Because you idiots that are putting your face up there are going to take the brunt of this.
Before I launched the channel, I felt like I was quite involved with the community, talking to a lot of people, conspiracy cats, and
talking to your other gamer friends who are probably have a warped perception and sense of what's real. Conspiracy cats. I mean, you're saying his name as if he's got something. He's just another antagonistic little shit with nothing. More pseudoscience, more silly assertions. Empty garbage, crayons and drawings and photographs. I ask you again, Craig, you really that stupid, son?
People that watched his channel, and I kind of had their support to start my channel.
Well, it's obvious that these people are being supported by YouTube. There's a selective process going on about who gets thrown into recommendeds and who does not.
I know, I guess I was picked up by the YouTube algorithm, and ever since then the support seems to have grown.
Support, you know, this is like gang activity. That they think, oh, I've got support, I've got numbers, that must mean I'm right. More displays of cult idiocy. Just because you've got numbers, you think you're right, or it's going to prove something. You're deluded.
I only hope that all our channels grow so that I think the Flat Earth's going to get a really big hiding in 2019 now.
What Flat Earth, son? It's going to get a big hiding. Are you involved in some sort of dichotomy of debate here where you require other religious morons and people who adopt beliefs and make silly assertions to do battle with your silly beliefs? Is that what you're talking about? Reality's not going to go away. Regardless of your attempts at ridiculing people. The objective world's not going to change because you ridicule people.
I want to help people in the community as much as I've been helped as well. So I want the community as a whole to grow, because I think that will be a better way of...
Community, he's now talking about, you know, his cult again. Just because you've got a community of delusional, delirious, incompetent, willfully ignorant, religious morons, I mean, what do you think's going to happen there, Craig?
Of smacking down the flat Earth.
Smacking it. You know, he loves to use these kind of violent type words. Yet Craig couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. Right? All this big hard man talks and all that. I'm sick of all these people. Step up. If that's who you are and you think you've got it, step up. Arrange a ring night. Right? I'll show up myself. And you can get conspiracy cats and all your buddies if you think that's going to prove anything. And I'll take every single one of these one at a time. Huh? How about that, Craig? If that's your game. I don't give a fuck about any of that. But subtly trying to invoke violence against people who question your cult is a very concerning thing to be doing, Craig. What's the matter with you? Because I know, son, that you don't really want to go there. You'll be the first one to shit your nappy and hide behind your missus. So, you can put this front up all you like, mate, because you feel safe in your gamer community. That's not going to help you in the real world, mate.
Yeah, I noticed. That's right. And yeah, that's right. They're becoming more elaborate in the crazy explanations. They're going to have to get more crazy.
I'm not offering crazy explanations and elaborate explanations. That's the globe again. Oh, it moves, but you can't feel it, can't detect it. It's never been scientifically proven. It curves, but it's never been measured or demonstrated in any way, shape, or form. Water bends at some unspecified, unknown scale where new properties are injected into the water. There's a magical force that's pulling everything. It doesn't have any geometry or dimensions to it that can be shown or demonstrated in any way, shape, or form. But it's there. Every single thing can be explained by my buzzwords. That's you lot, not me.
Easy and more crazy because as they bring something up, it's getting debunked fairly easily these days.
How can you debunk objective reality, Algin? Stop being silly.
Yeah. Giants dug the moon out of the Grand Canyon, turned it into glass, filled it with helium, and put it in the sky to mock us. You know, like, all right.
I've never heard that before in my entirety. Who said that, Craig? Huh? Was it a 7-year-old gamer buddy said that to you? You really shouldn't be hanging about with 7-year-olds. I've always wondered about that. Grown men online playing games with children. Surely only a child would make some sort of outlandish, ridiculous claim like that, Craig. And you like to just cherry pick it. To misrepresent people. Again, more signs of your deceptive nature. I'm really starting to no like you, Craig.
Saying the Earth's flat is one thing, but come on, that's another thing. Like the sun is an
It's
interdimensional.
demonstrably level, Craig. Again, I refer to the points made previously. You deny them. You have to deny them. Because you've got a religious bias.
Portal,
Interdimensional portals. Your crazy cult of scientism invokes all that. Multiverses, expansions, big bangs. Are you crazy?
pendulum is actually controlled by demonic forces. There was
Seriously, I've never heard any of this. In my 4 years of being involved, I've never heard anybody making idiotic claims like that.
the mountains are stumps of ancient trees that were cut down to
I
keep
remember that.
us away from the rest of whatever there is out there, where I don't know where the giants went or something. Yeah, so the arguments.
Hey, with his wee finger, you know. He's a deceptive, sneaky little toe rag, this you. But I'm still willing to give him the opportunity to prove me wrong. I highly doubt it.
Are definitely getting crazier.
No, exactly, Mr. Cheswick. I've never heard any of that either. I think little Craig just likes to pick anything out his ass and throw it out there.
I want people to be aware of how dangerous and stupid the flat earth is, because
You keep asserting this, Craig. Dangerous. Could you define who it's a danger to? What exactly is it a danger to? Who it's threatening? Can you offer any of that stuff up, Craig? Or is this the new angle from the Globe Cult? They're just going to keep asserting these things and hope that it sticks.
there's things like flat earth and then even other conspiracy theories, you know, anti-vaccines and stuff. I don't really want to tackle other stuff because that's not what is in my head right now, but all the same stupidity seems to apply to all these conspiracy theories, and it's holding everybody back.
So again, Craig's taking the upper hand in the authoritative stance that he knows and understands that everything in his reality and the way the governments and the institutions are, it's all truth. It's all based on integrity, openness, honesty. There is no charlatans who are trying to perpetuate their own positions and drain money out of people and raise their stature and all that stuff. No, none of that's going on, Craig, is it? No, you live in an ideal world, is that right, son? Corruption doesn't exist. Agendas don't exist. Lies are not being told.
Because the people that do fall for it, they fall for it hook, line and sinker. And you know what? If they want to fall for it and then keep
What do you mean, like, that's where you live, here's a picture on your TV screen? Although the picture on my TV screen contradicts all known facts of our physical reality. Is that what you mean, Craig?
to themselves, that's great. But if you're then going to come on YouTube and try and spread that shit, then I'm going to call you a fucking idiot over and over until you go away.
Craig, I'm going to call you a fucking idiot, son. Willfully ignorant, and what I'm seeing so far is deliberate and sneaky. Idiot. And I ain't fucking gone anywhere, okay? Nowhere. This isn't going to go away. You can try and prolong it. Maybe that's what you are, a patsy, to try and prolong this for whatever reason. But that's all you're going to do. Hold it up temporarily. And that's what you're going to be remembered for. Hello, Mr. Cheswick. Well
Do you
said.
think that flat Earth is really going to die?
I don't think so, unfortunately.
Why, Craig? Why do you think that?
As long as there's idiots saying this stuff
You
on
can
the
just keep saying idiots, idiots, idiots. That's not going to provide proof, tangibility to any of your idiotic beliefs, is it? Why do you want to perpetuate this silly, childish crap of name-calling and backwards and forwards? Huh? Are you trying to exert yourself as a man and prove your manhood? Well, I've gave you the option, I've gave you the offer. Prove your manhood. Be a man. Step up. Whether you want to have the intellectual discussion about the objective world, or whether you and your pals want to take me on in a boxing ring. Choice is yours, my man. But bumping your fucking gums is all you've got to offer.
internet, there's going to be people that maybe aren't really sure that take it as truth, and then it spreads. So I don't think it would die unless it literally went away and everyone kept it to themselves.
Yeah. So Gary Lowe in the comments has said, I lived with a flat earth for the best part of 3 years. I can confirm it is a cult.
Oh, Gary Lowe said so, so I can confirm that it is a cult. Based on what, Gary Lowe? Would you like to elaborate? Would Olgene here like to elaborate? Or maybe Craig? Because again, it's abundantly obvious what's the cult and where the cult behaviours are coming from.
Do you and Fight the Flat Earth think there are more new flat earthers coming in the last few months?
I don't know about new YouTubers necessarily, but like I said, I do see waves of new regular commenters. Whether that's new people or old ones with stock accounts, I don't know, but I do think there always seems to be new people
There's
coming.
always new sock accounts coming from the globe. There's a swathe of them all through my comment sections. All stored, all documented, Craig. You don't have a leg to stand on. Excuse the pun.
Coming into the flat earth. You know, I know a lot of flat earthers are like, oh, look at these Star Trek fans. You know, do you just want to live in your Star Wars universe? But you know what? Who wouldn't want to fucking live in a place where you could travel through the stars and see everything else? Isn't
This is part of his delusion. Listen to this. Who wouldn't want to live in a world where you can travel through space and to the stars and all that? Craig, you're not going anywhere, son. You've never left that fucking living room couch or your Xbox. So don't talk about space travel as if it's something that you can achieve. There's no such fucking thing, son. You can't have a pressurised environment maintained in a vacuum, right? Without some sort of containment. What would be more appealing, Craig, and that is probably more real, is that there's lateral exploration to be achieved. All that fantasy, it's not real, son. You're pissing in the wind.
look how amazing and big the universe is. Don't you want to see what's out there?
How do you know amazing and big the universe? Define universe, space and spaceballs, Craig. You don't know about any of that, son. I want to know what's out there. And I'm sick of people that you get in the way of progress of that. But no up there. Across the way, Craig. I've got two offers for you, Craig. Right? Let's try and get funds together so we can have an independent tests. One test would be to get a rocket, a firework, with cameras all around it, and we fire it vertical, straight up. We make sure it's got enough power to go hundreds of miles straight up. The other test is we identify a body of water and we will require support and funds for it, Craig. Like a lake, somewhere where we know it's nice and level, Craig, right? And we'll identify a mile stretch, or even half a mile if you like, because there would still be measurable curvature if it was a globe. And what we'll build is, we'll start the first point with its height, and then we will build blocks or whatever, which is square, vertical, horizontal to the next part. And we will continually build that over the space of half a mile. And if there's a deviation of the gap between each squared block as we move outwards, then you've got a case. How about that, Craig? How about you turn your attention to that? Thank you very much. Instead of this pantomime circle jerk that you're involved in and trying to milk money out of people by perpetuating, you know, ludicrous nonsense. How about that, Craig? You up for it? Are you and your cronies up for that? Shall we all unite and try and pull the resources together to have those two tests done and realised? I'm up for it. Wouldn't cost much, would it? in comparison to 52 million a day from one institution.
You wouldn't want to see what's out there.
I have in the past read a lot of science fiction. Do you interested in science fiction stories too?
The globe is science fiction, son. Your heliocentric Big Bang cosmology is science fiction. That's what it is. No unexacting known science. Science fiction. No objective truth. A religious narrative.
Douglas Adams is one of my favorite authors. Have you read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read all 5 of those books probably 100 times because it's clever.
Craig, do you know what happens to people when they just read the same book over and over and over again? They become fanatical zealots. Is that what happened to you? Huh? You brainwashed yourself as well as your government institutions brainwashing you. You willfully brainwashed yourself by reading science fiction over and over and over and over again. Is it any wonder you've got a warped understanding of the real world? I'm concerned about you, son.
Writing as well. It's not just science fiction, but it's clever.
How about you pick up an engineering manual? Something that you can apply practically. You know, like all the engineering manuals that use Euclidean plane principles that you obviously have to deny and make silly statements like, oh, it's just locally flat. Again, Craig, I invite you. Let's have an engineering project. Let's build something over the stretch of a mile or half a mile, whatever the funds would allow, with every piece square to the other. And what should start to happen is that the gap should start to get bigger and bigger and bigger across the level water, Craig. But you know that's not going to happen, don't you, son? Because water doesn't bend. Bodies of water don't bend like that, Craig. The only way that would work and you would get your gap increasing was if we started on a river and headed towards a waterfall. Why does water fall and flow from high points, Craig? Why does it do that? Huh? Where's your mass, more mass attracting mass come into that? Why are rivers on mountains no static, Craig? Surely there's a greater mass underneath them. Why are they running down to a lower point? Huh? If there's less mass, there's going to be less gravitational pull, is there no, sir? No. You're going to change. He's all want to change that now. Huh?
Yeah, it's a bit of fantasy, thinking about going into space and stuff.
Aye, exactly, Mr. Cheswick. It is fantasy. And as long as you can admit that, there's no problem. But people that you keep asserting that it's an objective truth.
Here's a question. So, do you think flat earthers generally have a mental illness or just in it for the money?
A lot of them are in it for the money, but some of them, I think the ones that are in deep when it's a cult, maybe they're in.
Again, he just likes to throw it in when you're in a... I'm not in a cult, Craig. I'm just a man, a family man, that lives his life pretty much in isolation from the rest of society. Because I don't want to be part of anybody's cults. Okay?
There is some kind of mental condition that is making them think that way.
My mental condition is fuck you. And if you want me to accept something as part of my reality, you better fucking practically demonstrate it. Is that mental illness? Or is that rational sanity? Huh?
And sometimes I genuinely want to say to people, you need to go and get some help, actually speak to somebody, but I don't want to be super offensive in that way.
I'm speaking to you, son. You want people to go and speak to other pseudoscientists? Huh? Well, we've now to go to the social sciences. Yeah? Is Is that what you're saying? The unquantifiable realms.
By saying you've got a mental illness, you need to go and sort it out.
You've got a mental illness, son. You're a grown man that sits in the fucking chair every single day looking at cartoon characters' arses. Ground control to Major Mong.
But I think some of them maybe do.
No, I can't believe them there with the cheeky fucker either.
Surely your brain's got to be broken to think that way.
Surely your brain's got to be broken to reject the everyday practical reality that you're living in. Your brain must be broken that you actually think bodies of water are made of jelly.
But then my question to people like this is, what will you accept as evidence? Because I've got a standing invitation to go on to the shed for Beyond Imaginary Curve for Dell, right? And I've told Dell straight out, I will come on if you tell me what you will accept as evidence.
Craig, this is not a court case, son. I am not a jury. I am not an audience member in a debate forum waiting to be swayed and influenced by your rhetorical crap. Craig, you make claims about the objective world and you practically demonstrate them. It's as simple as that. I'm sick of telling people like you this. Why does it have to even be stated to you?
Because I know he can't answer that question because he will never accept anything.
I've answered it many, many times, and I have torn apart your evidences, Craig. They are anecdotal nonsense, narratives and stories and interpretations about intangible things that you see in your observed reality. We can all make up stories about what we see, Craig. So again, I'm not interested in your evidence. Where is your practical demonstrations, your tangible proof of the assertions that are being made? If I make a claim about something in my reality, like steel is more durable than pine wood in certain situations or whatever, or for a certain tool, I can demonstrate these things, Craig. I don't need evidence. I just need a practical demonstration that supports what I found and what I'm actually stating. You know, real science, Craig. The attitude and the application that gave you the guitar hanging behind you, the spectacles on your face, the microphone you're speaking into, the t-shirt you're wearing, the couch you're sitting on, the shoes you wear, the Superman pants you're wearing that you shit stained. Physicality, Craig. Three-dimensional, attainable substance and objects, Craig. But you'll keep asserting that I'm not going to accept your evidences because it's rhetorical. It's not exacting. It's not measurable. That's why I refuse them, Craig. But that's all you have. And you take a wee huff and a tantrum because I'll not accept your pseudoscience. That's just tough, mate. It's not my fault that you want to continue your idiotic belief and fantasy. The invitation's still there, Craig. Let me see what you've got. Come and speak to me with manners and respect. Don't come at me like a fucking zealot, projecting your nonsense at me, invoking straw mans and trying to label them and label me and attach them to me. And I'll no get annoyed at you. You've seen me in person, out in the street, interacting with real people with manners and respect. None of this pantomime stuff that goes on online happens in the real world. And I guarantee you're not going to behave like a pantomime clown when you're faced with me in actual reality, Craig. So stop hiding. Stop Stop all this dancing.
As evidence, because I can go there with all the evidence that I know to be 100% fact, with
All the evidence to be 100% fact? No, you don't, Craig. You've no got evidence that's 100% fact. You have interpretations of intangible things that you see above you. That's it. And photographs, cherry-picked, without an account of your vision, an exacting science of what is actually going on. But you want to ignore all that. Because you know if we start delving into it and get to the root of it, it's going to blow apart your nonsense. But we don't need evidences, Craig. The tangible real world, the factual proof of the real world is telling you what you need to know. But again, you have to ignore that. You have to cherry pick.
backup, with with everything to prove what I'm saying, and he will refuse.
Show me it, Craig. Bring it. Bring me all this facts and the backup that you've got. Let's have it, Craig. But you know I know what it's going to be. You know I've already destroyed it, and many others who came before you, Craig, who fell by the wayside with a rhetorical religious nonsense. That's what your problem is. That's why you're avoiding.
Use it all. So I will go there. If he tells me what he would accept as evidence, then I'll get that evidence.
You've just been told. Your move, sunshine.
Bring it to him.
Ah, exactly, Mr. Cheswick. Sure he will. I think that's it for Craigie Bye. So again, it's pretty obvious where the cult is, who the proponents of the cult mentality are. Certainly not people like me. You know? Anybody who has a problem with what people like myself ask for and look for, they have to be a charlatan. Right, I need to get my tea bag out my tea, make it smoke, and then we'll see what's what. So as I say, I'm going to continue this probably a couple of times a week, and we'll have a wee look. The next port of call is going to be Simon Dan, and we're going to get back to his very first videos where he, talks about water and thinks that he's invoking real science. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it up with actual tangible demonstrations of the real world substances and the natural phenomena that we experience in everyday life. And then I'm going to mirror that next to what people like Mr. Simon Dan have got to offer, just so that you can see that he offers nothing but rhetorical bullshit. And I'm going to continue it until these people realise and accept the difference between pseudoscience that they defend and actual science. Well, Craig may just want YouTube money, that may just be his game. That's up to Craig to, be honest and upfront about that. But, trying to say it under the guise of being somebody that represents real objective science is a charlatan. That's a con man. Right? And I don't like con men. Taking money from the weak and the gullible. Right? Well, shitting on the natural sciences. That's just not acceptable in my book. Snake oil salesman. Aye, that's it, beyond belief. Get him more subs, Simon Dan, that'll make him more credible. Again, that shows you the dumbing down of society, that's how they're influenced. don't have the ability to discern. They just see numbers. That sways them. Oh, that's the majority. I better go with the majority. Again, perpetuating and breeding illogical, irrational fucking thinking. But we're talking about advancement. In the Dark Ages, people like Simon, Dan and Craig are hell-bent on dragging people right into the depths of the Dark Ages because they're scared and weak and suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. Steve HV again has been uploading, videos in regards to fallacious reasoning and the logic and that type of thing. So people should check it out. Another aspect I'm going to get back to again is I'm going to start doing smaller broadcasts where I shout out some people. It'd be great for people to show support. Now again, I'm no vouching for people in regards to who they are and what they may get up to, but as far as I can see right now, people that I like watching and listening to, who have time for. So I'm going to be sharing that with people, and it's up to you whether you like it or not, or take from it what you will. But again, I'm not offering that up because of any other reason than I think that they deserve that bit of support and attention, because I like what they've got to say. So people like Steve HV and Trev Dowson and Nick and loads of other people, I don't mean to leave anybody out right now, but I'll get to that. No charlatans who are offering crap to people, trying to rob them of money and keep them in a weak, gullible state of mind. That's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the stand-up people, the people with integrity and honour, manners, respect, decency. People like Craig just don't fit that at all, from what I've seen so far. Again, I'm always open to people changing. I highly doubt it. Yep. Exactly, Antonio Soberats. As I say, he's had that invitation. They all have the invitation, but we all know that they don't come with anything. But we'd love to see it. Gleam, they are protecting their careers. We know guys like Simon Dan is invested in stargazing nonsense and offering teachings on how to stargaze while sowing idiotic narratives in people's minds about what they're actually looking at. Simon Dan is a snake oil salesman. Simon Dan will be exposed. I'm going to continually focus on these people. Snake oil salesmen don't get a free run on my watch. Aye. 75 quid an hour to fucking fill people's heads full of nonsense. But people like me are the cult, don't monetise, not interested in bullshitting anybody. Offering up stuff freely to people. Your time, your effort, my own money. But I'm a cult. They literally have no legs to stand on, these people. They are a shambles. Aye, Merrill, another fucking charlatan. Snake oil salesman Brian Cox with his metaphysical symphonic universe crap. And that's the thing, scientism, mainstream, they don't have a fucking clue how this all came to be. They just come up with bullshit. Whatever gets them funding, whatever suits the agenda, that's the narrative they're going to go with. Beyond belief, where's the honour with the Globe cult? I want to hear the efforts at articulating the noble lie. All we get here are the tagged creepy gaming perverts. Where are the priests exactly? Never mind these lackeys Where are the real proponents, these people in the real positions? All hiding, trying to delay the inevitable. Futile attempts at delaying this. Right, I'm going to open up another one. I'll send it to Gav, see if Gav's about to wait a couple of minutes. And if nothing happens there, I'll open up to anybody else who maybe wants to add anything into this. A wee second. Right. So while I wait for this couple of minutes, I'll just stick to the chat box right now while I'm waiting. So they can make money. They can make money from their sci-fi fantasy if they like. Under that, category heading that it's sci-fi fantasy, and have their industry of making cartoon figures and fantasy, explorations and all that stuff if they like. Just don't try and pass it off as real. As Paulette was, all they can do is delay it. Riddle me this. Shout out to Des. I hope all the best to Des. Sheeps and Neeps. I seen that he went through some procedure. Again, there's a link underneath this video, the description. A link to a PayPal. Des Sheeps and Neeps, who was pursuing a holistic avenue of curing cancer, but he's had to get through a medical procedure. Now, again, I encourage people to support it. Don't give your money to con men online. Help real people in real situations of struggle, right? That's where your attention should be, on your fellow man, supporting each other while we go through this process of eradicating this idiotic control structure that gets in the way of people like Des and other people around the world from pursuing their own treatments. Who has the fucking right to take that away from anybody? No cunt. I detest it. So should you. These fucking arsewipes maintaining their own industry yet again at the expense of human life. Absolute fucking cockroaches is what these people are. So don't buy a fucking Fight the Flat Earth t-shirt or fucking mug or any of that shite. If you've got a spare pound to fucking offer it to people like that who are in real need. So that Emerald Rider, another channel people should take a look at. Talk sense, rational, reasonable, honestly, openly. People helping people is what's important. They've taken away the ability to help yourself. Well, they'll never have taken that away from people. But people need to start relating again to each other. Stop isolating yourself and being scared to reach out. I don't care who you are. And a time I need, I would be the first to step up to the mark if I have it. If it's monetary, I don't have that right now. If I had it, I would offer it. Any other avenue of support that I can give to anybody, I will give. As long as you're not a charlatan trying to milk people. Again, that comes down to discernment. Aye, nice. These words, we have to be able to relate to each other. We don't have to, accept each other in every aspect, but the fundamentals, the underlying issues that are necessities should be catered for and attended to. That type of attitude will take us out of these dark ages. Because make no fucking bones about it, we are in the fucking dark ages. In regards to intellect and discernment, rational thinking. People are brainwashed, subdued, dumbed down, in fear, anxiety, and they operate from emotional impulse. Trying to subdue their own insecurities, their own anxieties, their own fears. At the same time, stamping on each other, shiting on each other. Chasing delusions that are not going to satisfy them. Daniel McCluskey, there you go, how you doing? Beyond Belief Magumba, how you doing, mate? It's not that they're slaves to the pound. The pound is just offered up as a medicine to try and subdue the underlying issues in people. It's not the money that's the underlying issue. It's the unwillingness to take responsibility for your own mind, your own mental and emotional processes. That's the underlying issue. No fucking money. No, the Freemasons, the government, the bad man, the devil, God, the Jews, any of these fucking labels. The underlying issue is the lack of responsibility at an individual's feet. That's the real issues. I agree, Jordan Davis. All they have is a tax on me, on the man. Like, I give a fuck. Like, I need, because they project again their idiotic, weak-minded state. They try these tactics because they think it's going to work on somebody like me, because it works on them. I don't need acceptance from anybody. I am secure in my own being. I need no fucker. So that's all they have. Futile attempts at emotional and psychological sway. Or will affect how other people view him, and then that might crush him. Couldn't give a fuck. Try harder. Aye, Hope for Truth. I'm going to post a link in a wee second into the chat box here. Nah, nobody about. Right, I'm going to post this here for people. If you want to join me. There you go. Exactly, Pat Mustard. So an idea, what we call civilization, society and its structures and its practices, they're just ideas. Substitutes for the reality of our objective situation, where we are, why we're here, how it came to be, what its purpose is.
Hi, Dal. It's Dawn.
Don, how you doing?
I'm good.
How can I help you, Don?
You can't. I just thought I'd join because you said if anyone wants to join.
So you must be here with something that you wanted to say.
No.
So you're just taking up a space for the sake of it then? Are you that narcissistic that You just
I
want your
thought,
voice to be
I
heard.
thought you might have a topic as it's your show.
Well, I've been talking all the way through this, so there's loads of aspects that we could discuss in regards to it, but you need to have something that you want to add or bring up in relation to that. I mean, I'm not here to wipe your arse, mate.
I'll quickly go over what you said, quickly, the main points.
What was that?
I was just tuning in. I mean, I can come up with something if you want.
Oh, that's Joker.
No, that would be great. But while you're trying to come up with something, I'll speak to John. Right?
Hello, Dale. Can you hear me, mate?
I can, mate. How you doing?
Not bad, mate. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. All right.
A couple of things, Dale. The first thing I wanted to say was I've been speaking to Des on the phone.
Right.
And I'd mentioned to him what you've been doing, dropping the link in your description recently on the videos.
Good.
And he said he wants to send his appreciation for that. And he said, thank you very much,
Aye. It's not required, mate, anyway. I don't do it for appreciation or any of that stuff. I do it because it has to be done and it's the right thing to be doing for people, So, I appreciate the gesture, the gesture of that, mate, but that doesn't fuel me. Des getting better would be all the appreciation anybody needs,
I know that, mate. I was just passing that on. No, I know you're not doing it for any recognition because you never even mentioned that you were putting it there. I just happened to say to him when I was on the phone there.
Aye.
Speaking to him for yesterday and the day, and find out how things were going, just to let everybody know that the man appreciates all the support he's been getting from everybody, and all the best wishes and all that. It really goes a long way to him.
I'm sure it does, but for me, Des, put your attention to getting yourself better, mate, and focus purely on that. Your whole being, your whole attention was required for that, mate. None of this shit that's going on with this online garbage means anything when it comes down to it in a situation that he's in. And it's absolutely horrific to see that, my heart goes out to him and anybody else that has to go through any of that stuff. I wouldn't wish any of that on the worst enemies.
I've got
the other thing I wanted to talk about there was, it was following on the points the way you've been going through with the discussion tonight, exposing how you've got these jokers, they appear to be employed because there's nobody that idiotic that they could, spew out the garbage that they try to, subvert and, distract people from the reality of what's going on, the reality of how we live every day, by just talking absolute garbage.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about one of Nick's recent videos, the one he's talking about, how our field of view and how our optics and things like that are showing the curve, and he done a video where he's drawn like a graphics showing the scale of the curve, he's used a protractor, then he's got it on a level plane, and he's drawn like the circle globe as a disc, and he's got these little men all at funny angles trying to look up, to Polaris.
Aye, well, that's what we've been discussing for quite a while. It's in regards to our perceptions, and it's what things like the celestial sphere is based upon. But it's just a matter of us now getting right into it and finding out exactly what's really going on.
But that's what I want to say, Del. It's like I've been having a discussion with obviously paid employed pros that are going through lots of comment sections for different subjects, trying to dissuade people from their genuine opinion while they're censoring other people's comments. They're promoting these zero content, like garbage trolls that are just there to try and divert away from what's the questions or facts that have been stated to them. And on that video, I'd said to Nick, as you're drawing that disc there, and you're showing the little men balancing around the side, if you had drawn that disc flat and put them men around the equilateral ring, looking up, that would give a more reality to what our everyday reality is, the way we look up at the sky, And I also said to him, the protractor's a great instrument because they've used they can use things like that, and they talk about degrees and angles for navigation, yeah? I would challenge anybody to be able to triangulate an angle on the exterior of a sphere that can then find fixed bearing points for coordinates within a solid sphere without first dissecting that sphere in some way by either giving it an equilateral.
John, they show it in the diagrams, when they're showing things like celestial sphere and how we actually see, they will always dissect the sphere and place a level plane in the centre. and the observer is on the level plane. Now, in order, if you're using Pythagoras and trigonometry, these are plane geometric tools. So you're measuring angles where your calibration is the level. That's your starting point, is a level line, and you're taking an angle from that level line. And it's there, I mean, it's there for everybody to see.
And what that's what I've been doing, Dale. See in the comments, I've been explaining things, right, to these joker trolls. But what I'm saying is I'm putting things there that cannot be disputed in reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's things like they'll talk about the sextant. How does that work? Well, the sextant requires, because I've done a bit of sailing there, right? The sextant requires the horizon, right? A horizon, that's the level.
It's calibrated, it's calibrated to the level.
Mirrors. Yeah, and if they can't find the horizon because, say, bad weather, they will attach a little tiny water bubble level to find the level.
Exactly.
You know, and then I was also pointing out, you know, like how, you know, I said to one of the people in the chat, I was talking to in the comments, I said, look, here, go and try this. I said, get a ball, there's your solid sphere, get a little plastic triangle, and try and calculate any angle within that sphere, you know, because you won't be able to get inside it to do it, mate.
No.
I said that proves that all your navigation on a sphere is impossible without a plane level surface.
Well, that's what I'm saying, exactly. That is their navigation. It's a plane level surface, and the projection from an individual's point of view is what they call the celestial sphere. It's based on your vision, as Nick was showing, where it looks like you're standing in your own individual bubble or dome or sphere, whatever you like. But that's based on visual perception. That's not the actual tangible world. But that's what they've done. They've mixed the geometries up of the visible and the tangible, and they've tried to pass it off that you're on the exterior of that curve, and it's not. It's the curve is the limit of your vision. That's what the curve is, because of the lenses in your eyes being curved.
Yeah, exactly, Dale. And that's Nick's video was great. I just pointed out to him, you know, like a couple of things that would have shown. You know, it may have been good to show on the other side, you know, like where if you do, it's always the disc. They need that disc, you know. So we see the circle. They show us even the spinning globe on television. All we're seeing is that disc. Yeah. And as I've said, and I said in the comment section in Nick's video, it's the great switcheroo. Yeah. They need that disc, you know, or they cannot, and all their things fall apart without that.
Yep, that's what I mean.
You know.
We can use the celestial sphere on either model.
You could use headbutting a wall for half hour, mate.
Don, the celestial sphere is just a concept, mate.
I know. Tools, you can use that on either model.
But the application tools are planar, Don.
What?
The applications, the tools that you're actually using are planar.
Right.
They're calibrated to the level beneath your feet.
What you see on the whole of the celestial sphere is then the inference that you're on a sphere.
No, you don't see the whole celestial sphere. You see a sphere from your individual perspective.
Yeah, half it's blocked by the ground, but obviously if you go around Earth, you see different parts of the celestial sphere.
What do you mean half it's blocked by the ground?
Well, obviously you only see a celestial hemisphere, don't you? The other half is assumed to be somewhere else underneath. It's
a form of calculus, Don. It's a form of calculus. So as you move, you're moving on two-dimensional maps beneath you and above you. So it's based on your perception.
The celestial sphere is not two-dimensional.
What do you mean?
The celestial sphere means a 3D sphere around.
We move in 3 dimensions, but the maps that you're using in regards to this above you and below you are two-dimensional.
Yeah.
Yep.
That doesn't mean it's hogwash, though. It's still a good concept.
And we see in 2 dimensions as well. You can only move in 3 dimensions.
No, we don't see in 2 dimensions. We see in 3 dimensions.
No, you don't.
We do.
No, you don't.
We definitely do, even with one eye.
But you see in 3 dimensions, so you can see round corners and.
Not round corners.
Well, what are you talking about then?
3 dimensions.
When you look out, you see in 3 dimensions.
Yeah. Height, width, and length.
You need to move around objects in your 3-dimensional reality to realise they're 3-dimensional.
Do you only see 2-dimensionally?
So if I show you a picture, and I show you something in the distance, you're telling me you see that in 3 dimensions, really?
Yeah, everyone sees in 3 dimensions.
No, they don't, son. Stop talking ridiculous.
They do.
Look, away you go, Don. Don't talk rubbish.
Honestly.
Oh, shut up.
In reality, trying to...
Which dimension are you missing? Height, width, or length?
Look, every point of longitude and latitude that they claim, right, is around this ball, yeah? That can be plotted on just the flat plane, right? On
Yeah.
with the hemisphere above, yeah,
I
as
know,
we
yeah.
with our field of vision. We don't need this southern half of a ball, you know.
Well, half the Earth, even on a flat Earth model, is in the south, right? South of the equator.
Is it?
It's just round
No,
the edge, right?
no,
Right,
no,
instead of on the bottom.
No,
It's
listen,
all-
John, don't let him drag you into this crap. Don, the application tools. So if you're using a sextant, do you understand what a sextant is?
I think I know what it is. Yeah.
Right, so it's calibrated to the level,
Yeah.
right? It's not calibrated to the curve.
Right.
So if me and you want to find each other out at sea, and I take what's above me, straight above me, and I'm taking the angle to the other luminaries, and you're doing the same, and we're trying to find each other, you're on a sphere, your level is now something totally different from mine. It only works when we all start from the level playing field.
Well, I think I disagree.
Well, you can disagree all you like, son, but you have to, if you're a cult zealot who is only interested in confirming your own religious bias. You can have your religious fantasy, son, but don't come here asserting that your religious fantasy is the truth, because it's no.
I'm not that.
Right, but you're denying, you're being told, and I'm having the conversation with you, but do you understand these tools and how they're applied? You're saying, no, but you just want to assert things.
No, I understand mostly we work with a flat plane beneath us for general things.
So if we work with a flat plane beneath us and it works, what does that suggest to you, Don?
Suggests Earth's quite big and you can use a flat plane even though it's a sphere to me.
No, Don, you can't. It's no curving anywhere.
If I only consider that, it does show a flat Earth. But
so Don, you think me and you're out in the ocean? Well. You think me and you're out in the ocean trying to find each other over bendy water? You really think that, son? Don't you?
I believe it.
You're a lunatic. You're a lunatic, Don.
I know it's weird, but I believe it.
Well, you can believe it as long as you understand it's a belief. You can have your beliefs, but don't go about asserting that it's objectively true.
No, I'm not asserting it. I just took that side of the argument.
I've got a wee boat, right, and it sails underneath the ball while it's sticking to the bendy water, right?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's crazy, right? It is crazy. I understand that.
Exactly, Don. Now listen to yourself. It's fucking crazy because it's fucking retarded. It is crazy. You have to be a lunatic to deny your reality.
There isn't an alternative belief system that's fleshed out enough for me to switch to.
What do you need a belief system for, Don?
Well, I like to try and understand my wider reality.
Do you think objective science?
I have to take some of it on faith from.
Do you think objective science is based in faith and belief?
No.
Right. So
but my worldview, my idea of my reality is based on trust and faith.
Well, that's fine. You're religious, mate. That's fine.
Yeah, a little bit, but I like to understand my reality rather than just say I don't know.
But you don't understand it because you're denying the very practical applications.
I feel like I understand some of it.
Huh?
I feel like I understand some of it.
Can I ask you a question? Don Treader, do you believe there's a car flying out in space?
Not fully, no. I give them some chance, it's possible, but I don't really believe what they show us, no.
Why do you think we're using Euclidean plane principles in every aspect of our reality, Don?
Sorry?
Why do we use Euclidean plane principles in all the practical applications in reality?
Euclidean plane principles? Yeah. I'm not sure. But I think I gave you that a minute ago.
I think you need to go and have a wee dig and stop being a zealot, willfully ignorant. It's not a good state to be in.
I'm not willfully ignorant.
You're willfully ignorant, Don.
I'm not.
Yeah.
That's what you are, though, because your position now is I don't know.
That's saying you don't know is the honest stance to be taken. That's real science.
I'll be honest when I need to be, but some things I think I know.
Be honest with that, saying you're a time wasting troll.
Aye,
no, I come here to discuss with you. I'm enjoying it.
No, you're not discussing anything. You're just denying. Right? We've seen you for what you are now, Don. So you've got nothing else to offer us, mate. Unless you want to talk about something else, because talking about objective science is just not something you should be doing.
I've got a theory about Crowley and Loch Ness Monster, if you want to hear it quickly.
A theory about Crowley and the Loch Ness Monster? Go for it, this will be great.
Yeah, well, he did a demon summoning ritual. It was supposed to be 6 months, but I think he bowed out a few months in. On the shores of Loch Ness.
And demons are real, are they, Don?
I don't know, possibly. But that was 1906, and then 30 years later, people started reporting seeing a monster in that lake.
I don't know. It seems like
maybe he opened up a portal and Nessie came through.
Seems like a good marketing ploy to me, Don.
I just thought I was just being creative.
I will. It's good and all because you've got, go and look at the Montauk project where they summoned the Yeti. Right?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Aye, go and watch all that fucking stuff.
Coincidence that he did that on Loch Ness, and then a monster myth happened.
Aye. Well, they got it because they reverse engineered a spacecraft, an alien spacecraft, and used the seat. And they realised that they could open dimensions up and move through portals and all that stuff. Don, I wouldn't knock yourself out.
I don't really believe all that. I don't know.
You believe other absurdities? Why not believe all that?
I don't know.
You cherry pick your absurd beliefs.
I believe science is trying to pick apart the universe.
Which science? Why is science? Why would science be projecting existential narratives? Science is not about that. Science is about a methodical. Science is about a methodical process of discerning and understanding what's right in front of you. No making up stories.
But humans use creative license, don't they? They can't help but add to it.
For art, no for science.
Real science is denied now. It's all the nonsense science is protected by peer review. Anyone who tries to speak out against anything or put anything forward, that goes against any of that, it never gets anywhere because, they don't want it to. They like to keep what they've put in their little boxes carrying forward. Just move the boxes forward.
Don, are you the only one that's available right now? Is that what the problem is here? We've got you.
Yeah, sorry.
Aye, where's the rest of them?
I don't know.
Fuck's sake, they're fucking scraping the barrel here, sending you in, son.
I think they both listened to like 6 hours here over the last few days.
Yeah, right.
You've burnt them all out, Dale. You're getting they're all getting sore. They're all bruised and battered.
Well, they better get fucking used to it because it's no fucking changing.
And that's what what disgusts me, Dale. Right? See the operations that are ongoing, and it's been ongoing for a number of years now. See, methodically working through comment sections of people who try to speak out against certain things, and they've been watching what people have been saying and people's drawn attention to and all of that. And they've been progressively, trolling through the comment sections, removing people's comments, diverting their opinion, trying to, direct people along the path that they want people to think, and creating ridicule against anything, And this is military operations, that are going on against people.
Paul, how are you doing?
How are you, Dale?
No, I'm not bad.
Good.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, how are you doing? Don Treader.
Hi.
You realize you just talked to these two guys for about 5 minutes and basically admitted that you have a belief and that you can't prove anything?
I didn't admit I can't prove anything.
You did. You actually admit. If you play this hangout back, you'll listen to what you actually says. You admitted that you have a belief in something.
Yes, it's a belief.
Yes. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's true, but I just believe it.
Try to change it to Nessie and snowmen and yetis and all kinds of other unbelievable things. Really?
No, that's just a funny story. I was just trying to lighten things up.
Oh, it was just.
Yeah, it's a belief system, dude. I believe flat earthers have their own belief system. They've chosen an alternative.
Do you think I've got a belief system, Don?
Yeah, I think you've got
point to a belief that I've got.
I think you believe that water surface can never curve over great distance because you can't witness it properly.
Water's not got the ability to do that. It doesn't possess the ability.
That's your belief, right?
No, it's a fact.
No.
It's a fact, Don. It does not have the ability to support shear stress.
I can claim water surfaces can bend because of forces, and that's a fact. But
demonstrate
it. I believe it happens.
Demonstrate it.
Maintain convexity.
Don, listen, John, hold on. Don, tell me again what it is that happens to water over a great distance. What are these forces acting upon it? What is this force doing? What is this force doing to the structure of the water that allows it to support shear stress and display jelly-like elasticity upon its surface over a bigger distance? What is it that happens there?
It's pulling it.
What's pulling it?
I'm not actually sure how it works.
All right, away you go.
Jesus Christ.
You're bonker, maybe, Don. Maybe you're
That's what they say, though, right?
Whatever, Don. I can't be arsed with you now, mate. You're just talking shite.
No, it's actually kind of good, Del, because he's proving how ridiculous he is and their beliefs now. Don Treader was a great proponent of the globe Earth and a well-known troll.
You guys would like me now.
Well,
I left Gem's Globe Cult, and now I'm in 24/7, and I tell Globe trolls off each day when they're deluded.
Smashing.
What 24/7? The Discord or?
Yeah, the Discord.
All right, yeah, I've seen you there. I've been there. I've seen you there too, Dawn.
That's why you're dumb, Don, because you spend time with these incompetent, illogical morons. You should raise your bar a wee bit, son, and try and get yourself out of it.
Made me have a bad reaction for like 6 months. I just wanted to say, no, this cannot be.
Right, and now you're here trying to pass your stupidity onto people like me, and I'm really not interested. It doesn't stimulate me in any way, shape, or form, Don. You'll need to try harder.
It sounds like he's suffering from a little bit of cognitive dissonance here. It sounds like he could almost come over to reality.
No, if you guys show me more of your reality, I could be a flat earther. You need to show me the edge.
Don, the reality is that you're on a level plane. I mean, it's fucking demonstrable, son.
Yeah, but I need more than that. That's just statistic.
What do you need? What do you need, Don? You tell us what you need.
I want to know the wider reality. Where does the flat plane go?
Well, we need to explore it, Don.
I know. That's what I'm waiting for.
Right, well, that's it then. Well, why not get on board and push for that then?
There's a lot of people on Earth that say they already have explored it, and this is what it is.
I don't listen to hearsay.
Well, I'll wait and see your alternative when you explore.
Right, that's fine.
Well, why are you waiting for somebody else's alternative, Don? Why don't you fucking try and find it out for yourself?
Because I'm happy. I'm just an artist. I enjoy watching the show.
Bullshit artist.
Well,
bullshit artist.
Or lazy, if you want to call it that instead. I don't want to go exploring. I'm happy believing what most people believe because of the evidence and all the narrative built up.
You're happy being an obviously low-level troll then?
No.
Yes, you are.
I enjoy Flat Earth. It enlightened me in many ways.
Anyway, I don't want Don taking up the fucking stage here. You know what I mean?
But it's good crack. I enjoy it.
It's just
Let's get into some science, some flat Earth science.
You don't go any science. You don't even understand science, Don.
I do.
No, you don't. Do you understand the difference between pseudoscience and real science?
Yes.
So what's pseudoscience?
What someone considers fake.
Somebody considers what?
What someone considers fake.
No, it's when people make claims that are not demonstrable and cannot be quantified and measured in any way, shape or form, Don. So when people say shit like water does bend at some unspecified scale with some new property injected into it, and the only thing I can do is show you my picture, that's pseudoscience, Don.
Not really.
No, that's pseudoscience, mate.
No, that's also science.
No, it's not. Pseudoscience. It is a science, but it's pseudoscience.
Yeah, it's belief in the fake.
Well, when you say water can't bend on its surface because I've only seen it flat, and I can show you it flat, but I haven't looked any further than that. That's pseudoscience.
No, it's not. So that's an actual an understanding of the tangible substance in your reality.
Yeah, but everyone's going to say, "Can you show us more, please?"
No, Don. What do you need? What more do you need, Don? The substance is understood.
People aren't happy just knowing I live on a flat plane. They want to know what it is, where it goes.
That's not my problem. That's their irrationality, their weakness, and their need for a security blanket. I'm not interested in that. That's up to them.
So you just want to teach people that we don't know.
Well, that's how we get progress. When we get desperate and weak people making assertions and jumping to beliefs, you don't get progress done. You get stagnation. You get people fighting against each other to defend their beliefs.
Isn't that the crux of the matter, though, Dawn? Is to first find out that what you've been taught is a load of balls, and to find out and to realize that it is. And now somehow you're trying to think that because we kind of realize that we're not where they say we are, that things don't behave the way they say they do, that somehow there's a problem with that because you can't can explain beyond that.
No, I've seen lies, and I've seen that their narrative of reality isn't 100% true.
But anyway, we've got somebody here. We've got no mercy.
I'm not just going back to statistics.
Don,
you know what I mean?
I'm not interested, mate. We've got no mercy, and we've got Meryl joined. How you doing, guys?
Hi, Meryl.
How's it going?
Hi. Hello, Meryl. Hi, I just wanted to say to Dawn real quick because I haven't seen you since Jamie.
Fuck's sake.
Oh, yeah.
But just the last thing I say, Dawn, just straight up, like we don't know, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the way we do know is by being honest.
Right.
The human species doesn't know where the fuck it is. That's it. Get on board.
So you don't know if Earth's completely flat.
Well, we know we're not where they say we are, Dawn. We know that for a fact by objective reality and by proper science, not pseudoscience. We know that for a fact. So.
Well, in your opinion.
No, it's not an opinion. It's not an opinion, Dawn. It's a fact.
Well, it is, isn't it? Because I disagree.
Right, that's just because you're a religious moron, Don. You're denying objective facts. That's your problem. So I'm not interested in anything you've got to say. I want to hear from No Mercy. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
Yeah, good.
I just want to ask what if he's ever seen a lake with a outlet and the water flowing out of the level lake, and how that could not, it just doesn't make sense on a ball because it flows when it's not contained and there's an outlet. It flows, and you can go to any lake and any place in the world and witness this, that it flows. Like,
yeah, I've seen it. Water flows downhill on both models.
Don, your model involves gravitational pull due to mass.
Yeah, we still have downhill.
But yet, you've got mountain ranges which are more mass than the valleys, but the water's running down from these points to the lower level. Why is that, Don?
Yeah, it's because nature's variable sometimes, but most of the year obviously goes downhill, doesn't it?
Whatever.
Towards the pull, the downward force.
He's just a pseudoscience.
But your downward force is asserted through mass being the cause of that downward force.
No,
so the more mass, the more pull you've got. But yet the water is flowing off the larger mass to a lower level where there's less mass.
You floating away now.
What
pulls up?
Downward force is stopping you floating away.
Shut up, Don.
It is.
What pulls uphill? What pulls uphill?
What pulls water uphill?
Yeah. Because I'd love to know that,
I don't know. I think gravity might do it in some rare circumstances.
Listen, guys, I'm not listening to Don dancing in circles now. It's boring me. Don, have you got anything else to say before I eject you?
Yeah, you come up with a topic and I'll join in on that.
No, anything else but talking to you about a lot of shite, mate.
Well, you're the one that provided an open hangout, Dale.
But you're the one that's
I'm your only opposition here, so maybe it'll get boring if I leave.
You're the one that's in here thinking you're trolling, and really we're just taking.
I'm not trolling, dude.
You're not opposition, mate. You're a comedy show.
Your use is expended now, Don. You better change it, or you're going to become irrelevant very shortly. I'll just mute you until you come up with something.
I love it. You got to give them some, credit for being absolute wankers, ain't you? I think of them all as criminals, though. I think of these people as criminals. They're dedicated. To trying to deny stuff that they know, and they know they're not stupid. It is reality, Come up with anything to, try and dispute anything or cause an argument.
People at Dawn are just scared. That's their problem. They're just weak and scared. They don't have emotional stability. They don't have psychological stability. They're just scared.
This isn't fair.
He just wants to lash out at the world and think he's a troll and somehow he's part of something. You're not part of anything, Don. You're just.
This isn't fair. I'm more on your side than I'm not now.
I don't care about sides. There isn't any sides, Don. You're not on my side. I don't give a fuck, man. I don't
Why
know
are you
you.
horrible to everyone, though?
Stop getting lied to, Don. I want children to stop being lied to.
Okay, so you can teach your children what you want.
The possibility that we live on some spinning screen. Oh, here we go now.
I doubt that's the real.
Can you explain the mentality behind that?
Oh, it is red.
Snowham.
Retarded appeared.
Jesus.
My bitches and hoes.
Red's retarded. Is that really you? Say yes.
So I'm now on your side, guys. I'm ready to break Red's paradigm. With you.
Well done.
Red retarded. Here we go.
Right, Don, you can leave now then.
Can you explain the mentality behind that?
Red's retarded. Are you here to show me a firework again for 50 minutes?
Yeah, well, that's another thing you do. You jump to conclusions.
Don't start just jumping to anywhere.
It's a soundboard. Some
It
kind of
is.
soundboard.
I'll just mute him.
Some guy came on as RR with fucking. He's playing soundboards or something.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like it. Anyway.
Honestly, got time for these sort of people. They just are criminals to me. You know what I mean? They know exactly what they're doing, and to me, it's like when children, right in my home, in the city I live in, It's the first city in Britain at the moment that is now teaching children that boys can have fucking periods.
What?
You know, this is how ridiculous things are getting. In the schools in my city, they're now in primary schools, children's primary schools, they're teaching that boys can have periods. This is the young children.
Fucking child abuse, isn't it?
It is to me, it's criminal.
Oh,
and all of this is criminal to me, and it fucks me right off because I've got children, I've got grandchildren, you know?
So
and it
what do-
upsets me. I want my grandchildren homeschooled, but will they be? Because, you know,
Right, that's obviously been sniped. I'll hang out. He's still there. No mercy, anybody. John. No, P Mars just came in and sniped it. Well, let me just end that one. I'll probably just have a wee chin wag in the chat box here, people. I'm not going to continually open up new hangouts and whatever else. So the main point of this was to, you know, start analysing these people and the nonsense that's coming out of their mouth and what they're actually trying to portray things as. So, you know, I'm going to stand up against that. I'm going to continually focus on each one of them. We'll move on, as I say. The next one's going to be Simon Dan, and we'll see exactly what this, you know, character has to offer in regards to objectivity and his silly belief that the Earth's a globe, and we'll show that he's got nothing, you know. Right, I'm going to give it 15 minutes. I'll open another one up and we'll see how that goes. So these go. Another link there. No, Craig's not going to show up. David Marks. Craig doesn't have anything. No globe proponent has anything. I've heard it all.
I thought Don was a good panel member.
Jesus, not Pete. Holy fuck.
I liked his story about Aleister Crowley and the Loch Ness Monster.
So who sniped the hangout, Pete?
He's gone. You'll need to come in with another account. You'll probably see him shortly. Mac, are you there?
Yeah, hey Dale.
How's it going?
I'm here, Dale. Can you hear me?
Hear you. Can hear you fine.
Do I need to? I think I need to mute.
You'll need to mute the watch page. If you're watching it on YouTube, you need to turn that volume down.
Perfect. I'm done. So how do these people get in here and snipe the chats?
Don Twitter gives a fucking link to Pete.
Listen,
I'm just muting my watch.
the reason it happens is because I'm having to post the link to this wee hangout in the chat box to let people come in. So they're taking it upon themselves to come in and act the way they're acting. This is the only protocol I have. If I go with the old way, then they can snipe me and they can play porn. So they're just picking up the link from the chat box the same as everybody else.
Petulant children.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how do they?
It's the most fun.
How do they turn off everybody's mics and
Well,
you know, take people off?
You can do it as well, Mac. You can. There's a wee downward arrow on each screen, each icon. You can click that and you can mute.
Are you asking this to find out?
Okay.
Are you just trying to find out how to snipe future hangouts?
No, because no, I'm just asking because I'd like to start hangouts on my channel in the future, and I don't want to deal with this nonsense.
Is that Flat Earth Falker? Is that
So,
flat?
It is now.
Dale, I have a friend who's studying physics, and he says he has a pressure system without a container.
No, it isn't. Don't talk nonsense, Don.
It's plasma inside in a tube of magnets, and it doesn't have to push on the edge.
Inside a tube. inside a tube, Don, right? Shut up,
No,
mate.
but it's the magnets are pushing it in.
We're not talking about magnets, you moron. We're talking about...
I thought it was gravity.
No, it's just...
I can't be bothered listening to him anymore. He's just full of shit.
Oh my God.
A tube of magnets. I thought we were in a ball of fucking in a vacuum with gravity. Where's the magnets coming out?
It's crazy, these guys with their arguments, man. They're so infatuated with their ball. Just makes no sense.
I know.
Didn't they say the other day that the latest Mars lander dug 11 feet down to determine the core temperature of Mars? 11 feet.
I know a lot about magnets. I was really interested to hear about magnets, and you blew them off the panel. Why though?
You've had a shave. P-Mars, you look a bit better, son. It's nice to see your wee baldy face, you know, your baby features and stuff like that. Yeah. Now we can see, I know you've just switched your camera off, but you look a bit better. Still a Mora. He sniped this again. Aye, this one's been sniped again. Pathetic. Fucking pathetic. I need to go on this and try and make this so that they can't keep doing that. Fuck them right off, you know. Well, that'll force them into having an actual discussion with people rather than just acting like fucking petulant children, you know. Petulant children are not even that annoying, you know, in comparison to these fucking cock breaths. They are scared, Maggie. It's all getting a bit too fucking serious for them now. Just thought about that before they started trying to fucking perpetuate bullshit, you know. Exactly, Antonio Subarats, I see them. Oh. I hope for truth. It's probably P-Mars that blocked you, man. You know the tactics, mate. What can you do? You know, I'll try and get it sorted out before Saturday so that, you know, they can't do that anymore. I know Paul Etchells, I will try and get it done. Doesn't matter if you ban them, John, they just make sock accounts. You know, P-Mars and Russian vids and all that, they just come in with endless amounts of sock accounts. I don't know how they find the time to do all that. I've created one sock account in my whole life, and that was on Facebook. That was it, and it lasted 5 minutes. So, I couldn't be bothered with all that shit. They've obviously got too much time in their hands, you know. Well, Jed Skeptic Media have offered, you know, just to be decent with him, but he's no willing. He can't handle it. He's no got it in him. He's no my responsibility. I can only extend myself so far, you know. Aye, one sock account I made and it lasted 5 minutes because the organised troll groups on Facebook reported it, you know, but yet they get to run about willy-nilly, you know. You're intrigued by the sun going south, why is no one else talking about this? Antonio, I've seen plenty of people talking about the sun, the luminaries. Well, it seemed that way, Wake the Sheeple. You know, it certainly seems that way. Willy-nilly. Clive Fokker, we cannot even talk in peace and freedom and share our thoughts. These cult members need to silence us. Exactly. Again, it's just a display of the cult mentality. You know, they talk about cults and they display it endlessly. I don't see me running to any of theirs, you know. Nice one, Maggie M. I'll be on it. Don't worry about that. I always laugh, no drama. Exactly, John. Cheers for coming on, mate. Aye, Cat Creepy Blinder as well. He'll be getting it. He's on the list beyond belief. Other wee group are on the list, and we'll see what they've actually got to offer. Yeah? We don't need to sit there smug, thinking we're laughing at, thinking you're funny and clever. He's just another pathetic wee gimp, creaky fucking blinder. You're a wank, son. A total and utter knob jockey. And we're going to point at your idiocy continually. Sidel Cartier, I think you messaged me earlier, but I've just not had time. I'll probably be about in the morning. There's a stoter Magumba. I've seen his kind many times. Thinks he's suave and different and all that, and cool and hip. He's just a fucking absolute plastic gimp. I mean, doesn't he fucking impress me, sunshine? Your wee grandpa hat and you're a fucking pie hiding behind a fucking projection. Weak. Right. So anyway, people, I think it's pretty obvious where somebody like Craig Fight the Flat Earth is coming from. Delusional. What I see so far is serious delusions, right? Mentally unstable, right? And a willful liar. And I think he knows what he's up to. So, I bet you a mix going on with the old Craigie boy. Time will tell. As I say, we'll be continually focusing on it, seeing what they've got to offer, looking at what they offer objectively, breaking it down rationally, logically, and showing and highlighting the places where they fall apart and see what they've got to bring back. But they cannot fit the criteria of real science. They will never be able to fit that criteria. So the only thing we can do is break apart their sophistry and highlight their NLP when they're implementing it. Thanks people for coming on. Mods is always much appreciated. I'll see you very soon. Take care people.